Hey y'all, it's Lauren. This week I'm talking with Eric Bailey about comedy and relationships. This is the Chicks and Dip podcast. What's up, y'all? It's Lauren back with another episode of the Chicks and Dip podcast. I'm so happy y'all are here with me today. I have a wonderful guest. Today I am talking with my friend Eric. He's a comedian here in Savannah. And it's a great interview. We talked about obviously comedy and how he got into it, how it's going, just kind of like the behind the scenes of stand up. And then we talked about relationships, which he told me, I said, what's another topic you can be an expert on? What do you love to talk about? What do you love to joke about? And he said relationships. And I was like, okay. I was thinking a bunch of jokes. Y'all, we're getting deep. We are getting deep today. We are getting real. And I loved it. It was an unexpected conversation and it was great. But he's still a comedian. So there's definitely plenty of laughs. So get excited, y'all. Before we get into that, I want to tell y'all some of the things I've been talking about over Chips and Dip, and I'm going to start bitching. I'm going to start by I need to do a little rant about the morning that I have had. Calvin walked in the studio. I was like, how are you doing? I was like, you know what? And so let me just tell y'all. And I'm going to go ahead and apologize to my male listeners. I know there's a few of y'all every week, and it involves tampon stuff, so my apologies to you in advance. It's about to get gross. Okay, y'all. So this morning, I wake up, and ladies, y'all know, first day of your period, fine. You feel a little nasty, whatever. Second day, that's when it gets real, okay? It's a disaster zone. You're so bloated. You want to eat everything in sight. I personally am at my grouchiest and at my most tired. So that was yesterday. I got through it. I did it. I was okay. I went to bed last night. I don't know what was going on. Maybe it's some underlying stress. Maybe it was my period, but I slept the worst I have slept in a long time. I woke up with a headache. I slept so bad. Does that ever happen to y'all? You don't even go to bed with a headache, but you wake up with a headache because all night you're waking up every 30 minutes, furrowing your eyebrows in frustration. That will give you a headache. So I was pounding headache this morning. I said, Lauren, you have skipped the gym for 3 days because of your period. So let's go. Let's force ourselves to go. I go to the gym. I get off the gym. And I look at my phone, and I have an email from Bank of America. This bitch, Erica, if y'all have Bank of America, you know their little, AI girl. Her name is Erica. Erica says, hey, Lauren, your account balance is low. I'm like, oh, shit, how low? $100 low? Nope, negative 57. Kill me. Somebody kill me. Calvin just turned around how did you get here? Listen to me. And here's what I hate. I hate whenever people try to pretend their shit is together always. And on this podcast, I keep it real. Am I killing it? Yes. Every second of the day, I'm grinding, I'm hustling, I'm doing my thing, I'm crushing it. However, I have recently started a business and I am 26 and I did quit a sales job with commission. So my financial situation has changed and my rent has gone up. I have adopted paying my own insurance. My gas bill has gone up because I got a gas dryer in the last month. So everything is always changing, okay? And we have got to be honest with each other about that. And sometimes I have a lot in my savings account and I have great money in my checking account. And then sometimes I wake up and Bank of America says I have negative $57. What the fuck? And so here's the thing. I do not want you to feel bad for me. Because I have to adjust. That's what adults do. You have to adjust. So I looked at what happened. And what happened was I had 3 bills that auto paid on the same exact day last night in the middle of the night. So you know what? Maybe that's why I had a headache. Maybe my subconscious was you forgot about the 3 bills that are automatically going to come out at 12:01. Wake up. And that's exactly what happened. So you know what I did? I called Orange Theory and I said, hey there. I need to change my billing date because it has got to fall on a different week than these 2 things because these I can't change. These are utilities and shit. That's going to be a real pain in the ass to change the billing date. So I put my adult pants on, called the gym, and changed my billing date so that this will not happen again. But it set the tone for my day to be full of frustration. I'm not done. You think I'm done? I'm not done. So I get in the shower. I'm like, you know what? We're moving on. It's going to be a good day today. I'm going to have some coffee. I'm going to eat a little Perfect Bar. We're going to get our shit together. I shower as normal. My routine, whenever I get out of the shower, is lotion, skincare. I put on like my big fluffy pink robe and I go to my glam desk where I sit on a white chair. Do y'all see where I'm going with this? I sit on a white cloth chair to do my makeup. You know what I forgot to do when I got out of the shower? I forgot to put a tampon in. I completely forgot. It's day 2. You ladies know you don't play around with day 2. And so I'm sitting there doing my makeup. I've got my full face on. I'm about to like finish up my eyebrows and I get a little feeling and I'm like, a little tickle. Feels like, I don't know, just something peculiar going on down south. I stand up and sure enough, I have bled all over my pink robe, all over my white makeup chair. I was like, are you kidding? And again, it's forgetfulness. And you know what? I'm going to blame my period. I am. I hate whenever people say, oh, I'm on my period. I can't do whatever. But it's one of those months for me that, yes, I'm having a brain fog and I'm blaming my period. I forgot to put a tampon in and I ruined my makeup chair. I forgot about all these bills that are due on the same day and I overdrafted. And you know what? It's all because of my period. I'm not having it. And you know what? Now I'm at this studio and I'm laughing about it and I feel a lot better. I really do. And now I know my day will be, on the up. It literally can't get worse than sitting in blood, okay? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm going to stop. I don't want to be a period podcast today. No, we need to wrap that up. But for real, like, it's only going to go up from here. Laughter is healthy. So please, don't feel bad for me. Just laugh with me. Laugh at me. Do it. Laugh at me. Another thing that's been going on that I've been talking about over chips and dip. My sister got engaged. I'm so excited for her. Shout out to Rachel and shout out to her fiance, Grant. Oh my God, her fiance. Yo, that's crazy. We've been wondering when it's going to happen. She's about to go to PA school. Like he's got a house and all this stuff. And so it's, it's time. They've been wanting it. They've been talking about it. And it happened over Valentine's Day weekend. And I won't give y'all all the details. Some of it's private, but, they had just he really did good. He planned this whole weekend out with an itinerary. Literally Rachel sent me a picture of the itinerary he made and it said Friday, arrive. It was a full-blown itinerary for their weekend, which I think is so sweet. And he did it up at this the end of a hike on top of a mountain with this gorgeous view. So it was really, really pretty and I'm really happy for them. So I just want to shout out my little sister, Rachel. Congrats, Wheezy. And I'm going to have a brother-in-law. Ew! Yo, that's so crazy. We're like a family of women, I don't have a brother. I've got a dog, but he's fixed. You know what I mean? He doesn't count. This is crazy. I'm excited to have another dude in the family other than my dad. I think my dad's really excited. So, yeah. Congratulations, Grant and Wheezy. I love you guys. I've got a whole list of things I want to talk about, so I'm going to just pick one more. Actually, this one is timely. Okay. This is no shade. Let me preface this by saying this is no shade, and I absolutely love to see everybody's content on Valentine's Day. If you're in a relationship, I love it. If you're single, I love it. Anybody who's cranking out Valentine's Day content, I love it. So no shade there. Let's be clear. However, don't you love whenever I do that? I say, I don't want to be mean, but... And then it's the meanest thing you've ever heard. Love it. Miley Cyrus's song Flowers is all the rage right now. We all know this. I get myself flowers. We all know this. I'm not being dramatic, 5, 6, maybe more pictures of girls in my Instagram feed yesterday, or I guess on Valentine's Day. Jeans, no shirt, naked up top, holding a bouquet of flowers over their boobs. And the caption is, I can buy myself flowers. And you know what? I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I'm not necessarily trying to shit on it. And I'm not trying to say I love it, But it's just a moment in time that I feel like we need to recognize all together. Like, please tell me I'm not the only one who saw this. I should have started. Honestly, I could go back. I should have screenshotted them and counted them out to make sure I'm right. But I know it was at least 5. I think that it could have been more than 5. But literally just jeans or maybe little denim shorts, no top, big bouquet. I can buy myself flowers. Love it. They all looked amazing. But what a moment in time. Miley Cyrus has united the single women of America. And I love this for her. Go off, Miley. She's got a way of doing that. I love it. Okay, do I have anything else to tell you guys? Nah. I've got to record an intro for another episode after this, so I think I'm going to hold my other 2 stories for next week. Y'all will hear it. Anyway, so that's all the intro stories that I have for you guys. And before I get into it with Eric, y'all know what I have to do. I want to talk about Neutral. Thank you so much to Neutral for supporting the Chicks and Dip podcast. I actually have kind of a fun story. So when I'm recording this, it is about 4 days after my Galentine's Day party, which went so fun. It was great. Thank you to everybody who came out. We had a blast. But funny thing about Neutral, Megan, our Neutral rep, came out and hung out for a couple hours, and she had these they looked like shot glasses, but they were clear with like the Neutral brand on it. And she was like handing out little samples, but people kept thinking they were shots. And so like one of my friends brought them over to me and was like, ooh, you know how like whenever somebody brings a shot over to your group, you're like, oh man, like it's dangerous. We're about to take a shot. And so we're all acting like that. And then we would take them and we'd be like, wait a minute. We'd be like, that wasn't like straight liquor. That was Neutral. And let me tell you what, it was the most pleasant surprise of the night. Every time somebody brought me a quote unquote shot and it was a gorgeous, refreshing shot in Neutral, I was like, yes, like I'm not going to have a hangover. It was so much fun. But for real, Neutral, it's a vodka seltzer. It's made with vodka and real juices. Today on the set, I have peach lemonade. I have, what is that? Blackberry lemonade also. It's so good. Honestly, their branding is so cute. Not that that matters, but the branding is so cute and the flavors are awesome. Right now it is about 75 degrees outside, so I'm excited to enjoy the lemonade. I keep on all winter. I feel like I talked about the cranberry, and the cranberry is perfection. But now that it's warm outside, like I'm itching for a beach day, and I'm going to bring a Neutral lemonade with me. So thank you so much to Neutral for supporting the show. You guys can check them out at pretty much any bar you go to. You can find one, or you can get them at your local liquor store. So check it out. We going to the beach? Yeah, sure, when? Calvin just turned around and said, we going to the beach? I said, yeah, when? I keep on saying, like, okay, well, now here's another intro story. We're going out of order today. I'm off the rails, and I haven't had one sip of coffee. I'm running on frustration from my period. Anyways, I've lived here for 3 years, and I live 20 minutes from the beach, and I swear, like, I have probably done a beach day 5 times. It's horrible. And it's because, like, for me to go to the beach, I'm so fair-skinned that it's kind of a spectacle. Like, I have to do the sunscreen 6 times in a day. Also, I hate sand. So, like, I'm bringing the chair. I'm not somebody who can just me, myself, and my body go to the beach. No, it's a production. I want a whole bag of sunscreen. I want a cooler. I also demand we stop for boiled peanuts on the way. And I want the chair and the towels. And, it's just like a little bit more of a hassle. However, this summer, my goal is to go to the beach more. So whenever it gets warm outside and you start seeing me post little, an outfit like I'm in today, tank top, shorts, say, bitch, we know it's warm enough. Go to the beach. With that feels like I need to stop talking and get into the interview.
This week's guest, this is Eric Bailey.
Okay, guys, I'm going to toss to Eric. Let's go.
Welcome to the pod.
Thank you. I feel very welcomed.
I'm so excited that you're here.
Chips and soda, I feel extremely welcome.
I feel like we should address the chip situation.
You want to? Okay.
Mm-hmm. So
before we got on here, I'm gonna tell the story
Go
because I don't think you'll do it justice. I reached my hand, and it was like a slow reach, and she watched me grab a 100-day-old chip and put it in my mouth and chew on it, and was like, "Oh no, you shouldn't have done that." Like, oh, thanks. On my way to the bathroom, she's like, yeah, you shouldn't have ate that.
Okay. My perspective now.
Okay,
Thank you.
Your turn. Sorry.
Was it happening in slow motion? Yes. Did I say something? No. But in my defense, my brain was working in slow motion. I was like, oh my God, how many days
is he actually going to eat that?
Is he going to do this? Is he messing with me? How
Yeah.
many days have those been here? Will
Wait, is it really stale? I don't know. We've been doing this show for how long? I'm not sure, but
What did it taste like?
a stale ass chip is what it fucking tastes like. Tasted like the worst chip I've ever had in my life.
We've had so many guests in this room, and not one of them has ever even dared to.
First, I would gladly be the first to ever taste a stale chip at your show.
I
Thank you.
love this. Okay, tell the people about you. Who are you? How old are you? Where are you from? Give us a background.
My name is Eric Bailey.
Mhm.
I am 27 years old as of last month. I feel old. Thank you. I feel very old. We were both born in 96, right? I think you told me.
Yeah, I'm like
that's awesome.
barely made it in December.
96 is a great year. I was actually from West Philadelphia.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was born and raised in West Philly.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I moved
Oh.
here when I was a teenager.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to hang out in the playgrounds a lot. It's where I spent most of my days on the playgrounds.
Not at school.
And no. Yeah, no. So the reason why I'm actually here in Savannah is because it's a long story. Calvin, I don't know why
Calvin
Calvin's
is
laughing.
rolling on the floor. Can you give us the story? What do I not
Yeah.
know right now,
No.
Calvin?
This is where I spent most of my days. I don't know why Calvin's laughing. I actually could get through the story because he probably knows the story because we know each other, but it's okay. So basically, there was a bunch of guys. They were up to no good,
Okay.
and they started making some trouble. You heard the story?
No.
No, so they started making some trouble in my neighborhood, and it's just like one fight. I just got in one little fight, and my mom got kind of scared. So
Is
she
this
said,
a real story? Is this like a movie?
"No, this is a true story.
Okay.
Don't make fun of me." She said, "You're moving with your auntie and uncle
Oh, shut
in
the fuck up.
Savannah." I'm mad that it took you that long to figure that out. No,
You listen to me right now.
born and raised
No,
in Savannah.
I should have opened this whole thing by saying that last night was Valentine's Day at Barrel House South. I am a little slow today.
No,
How
it's
dare
okay.
You
You've
do
been
that
drinking.
to me on my own podcast.
We're gonna get this thing started the right way, right?
My God.
Vodka soda.
Where are you actually from? Are you from Savannah?
I'm from Savannah. Yeah.
Eric, literally leave.
I'm from Savannah. This is stale soda. I'm just playing. No, this soda is actually pretty good. I'm mad Calvin fell out of his chair while I was telling this story.
Oh, I'm curious. My audience is very
What's
much.
funny is he knew it when I said on the playgrounds where I spent most of my days.
Damn, how did I not get that? I wonder if my audience will get it. They're all exactly like me. Like, I kind of feel like they
I'm pretty
won't.
sure they'll get it. You
think?
I'm pretty sure. I don't know. They might not. They may. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know the demographic of your audience. I'm already drunk off of one sip.
Off of one sip of that neutral. This is crazy.
What's it called?
Neutral.
Neutral.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's
You
like
ever had
a
it? Is that your-
Truly. You ever had a Truly?
Don't bring them up on here. Horrible.
I'm sorry. Don't drink Truly. Drink.
We only
drink
like
neutral.
neutral.
Okay.
Anyway.
You ever had a White Owl?
What is-
Not that you're saying you should drink it. You ever had a White Owl?
No, what is that?
It's something that a lot of middle 30-year-old white men like to drink. And,
Okay.
it's a girly, I have a friend, shout out to Jared, a friend named Jared, that's all he drinks is White Owls.
What is it? Is it like a seltzer?
It's it's like this, but
Okay.
it's like yeah.
I'm scared of everything you're
It'll
saying. I feel
it'll
like
get you jacked up, but it's probably not good for your,
Yep. Neutral's good for all
You
of
ever had
it.
a White Owl, Calvin? No? Okay.
Is this something else that I'm not gonna get? If this is gonna be nothing but jokes
a
over
White
my
Owl
head,
is a
I'm
legitimate
ending
drink.
the
A White
podcast.
Owl is not as good as a neutral,
Oh my
but
God.
it's definitely. I'm dead serious. This is not a joke. A White Owl is a drink.
I am feeling upset. I'm
scared
scared
now.
that everything you say is gonna go over my head.
No, I
I'm
promise
not-
you can Google White Owl, and there's a lot of different flavors.
I'm about to Google it.
They're really
just
good.
Right quick.
I'm
just
dead
gonna
serious.
Just make
A
sure
White
that
Owl.
I'm trying to make sure I can trust you in the rest of this conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
White Owl.
I mean, it's a real drink. I don't know why I shouldn't have started off with
White
the West
Owl.
Yeah, White Owl seltzer.
Cigars.
No, seltzer.
I don't think that this is real. This is not.
I'm
coming
sorry,
up.
a White Claw.
What the fuck?
I'm sorry. I dead serious.
I'm like, he's lying.
Did I get it?
again.
Is it a White Claw?
It's a
That's
white-
it. I'm dead serious. I thought it was called a White Owl. It's called a White Claw. I don't drink those things. I drink fucking Jack Daniels, like a grown man.
I just looked up White Owl and like literally the Google search.
Cigars.
It's one cigar and 100 actual owl pictures, like, real owls.
I wish that was a joke. But no, I was being serious. It was a White Claw. That's what I meant. Jared, sorry.
Oh my God. When I thought you were messing with me, I was about to cut this off and tell you you're my least favorite guest I've ever had.
No, White Claw. I'm dead serious. Okay. It's a drink. It's like this, but not as good.
Everybody knows White Claw.
Not as good. Okay.
I drank White Claw to death during COVID. Like, I would go on a walk with a White Claw every morning.
The whole time you knew what a White Claw was.
Yeah.
But because I was calling it the wrong thing. You were like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Exactly.
All right.
Oh my God. Okay. So a little bit of background about you and I. We met after a comedy show a few weeks ago.
That's true.
And
I remember that.
It was so fun. You crushed, and I was like
2
cackle
weeks ago.
laughing.
I remember that. Yeah.
I was like cackle laughing, and this was a tough crowd. No
They
one
were
there was in the
very
mood.
stuffy.
They were not in the mood.
It
to
was a
laugh.
lot of couples.
Yeah.
There was a point in the show where I was like, where is it? Give it up for the single people. And there was one guy in the back like, yeah. This is the doorman. That's it. Everyone else was happily married or in a relationship, and they weren't laughing at any of that. Any of the single people stuff. And at one point I was just like, you know what? Screw y'all. This is funny.
That was so good.
This is very funny.
The
I
thing
tried
is-
my best joke or whatever, and they were like, I was like, yeah, no, this is y'all. This ain't me.
Yeah, this is y'all's problem. How did you get into comedy?
So I used to do spoken word poetry, like, you know, they started having me host shows for them.
Mm-hmm.
Spitfire Poetry Group. Shout out to Spitfire Poetry Group. I'm gonna do this a lot. It's my thing, yeah.
I think you're good.
I did that for about 2 years here in Savannah, since like 2018. And so I was writing a lot. Just enjoyed that kind of expression. That art form was like a really good prerequisite. So neutral. And I think I had a show one day where I was hosting, and I did a piece that I wrote about my car that I had at the time. It was a shitty car. It was a very A to B kind of car, and I was just getting very frustrated with it. So I wrote a piece about it, and the guy at the show was a comedian, and he thought it was really funny. He thought my delivery was good, and he was like, "You should try stand up." So I started going to stand up shows, and I probably went for like 4 or 5 months before I ever actually tried it.
Yeah.
And I tried it, and the first time I did really well. I'm not saying I'd killed every single time after that, but I definitely bombed.
Yeah.
But that first time was good, and so from there I was just hooked. It was about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you prepare? You know, like, are you like a pen and paper kind of guy? Like, do you practice in front of people? Like, whenever you're like coming up with a bit, how do you practice it?
Good question. It's different. It's funny. Like there are times where like I'll be at a show and I'll be hosting or I'll be just talking and I'll come up with a bit just in real time, and I'll be like, I got to write that down later.
Yeah.
Just off of trying to think of something. But more often something will happen in real life and I'll think of maybe an exaggerated version of that or some kind of character, and I'll write it down either on my phone. It doesn't have to be pen and paper. I do have a notebook, but most of the time it ends up going to my phone because that way I know I won't lose it.
Yeah.
And then as far as like actually trying it, I'll just go to an open mic or I'll go to one of my own shows and try it out, see how it works. And then as far as like workshopping jokes, I definitely have like a couple of comedians that I'll call, be like, hey, what do you think about this idea? And they'll say, hey, it's a good idea, or nah, that's bullshit. And then I'll be like, fuck you, buddy, I like this joke. You know what I mean? But yeah, so
Is it hard whenever you tell somebody something and they're like,
and they're like,
it's
and I'm
not
like,
that funny.
no, this is gonna work.
I feel like it's a thin line between trusting your gut and like scrapping something, you know?
Yeah, I'm messing around. Like some guys won't say that's a trash bit. They'll say like, oh, it'll be better if you did it this way. And again, sometimes I'll definitely take their advice. If they're an older comedian that I trust, I'll take their advice.
What was it like the very first open mic that you did? Were you nervous?
So I had already been doing stuff in front of
Yeah.
people. I was nervous in a sense that I wanted to do well.
Mm-hmm.
I still get nervous to this day, like before I get on stage sometimes. If it's an
Really?
important show. Yeah, if it's like a show where I'm like, I want this to go well,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like the show that you were at,
Mhm.
because of the room, I was a little nervous at first before I got on stage. Once I got up there, I was like, oh yeah, nah, these people are just stuffy,
Yeah.
and I just need to break them.
Yeah.
And I saw you guys were having fun in the back, so I was like, okay, I know relatively like this is what I'm doing is working.
Yeah.
But some of these people are just like, they just feel like they're too cool to laugh, so that's why I had to like, hey, nah, screw y'all, this, and then you break them. But as far as getting nervous, like I think there's different times where I'll get nervous. That first time was like, it was more of like I kind of didn't care. Like I was just like, I'm just gonna try it.
Yeah.
I think that show that I was on, there were a lot of comedians that were trash anyway. Just being real,
Yep.
they were not great. So I was like, if I get up here and I'm not great, then it's kind of like no big deal. It was like a karaoke night basically. Like I
Yeah.
can get up here and sound terrible if I want.
Yeah.
But that's the point of it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Public speaking is like something that people are terrified of.
yeah.
Like whenever you first started doing poetry, like have you always just been like cool with public speaking? Like,
So there's this, I have like a philosophy on it. Like you have to start
mm-hmm.
in an environment where the room is like extremely supportive.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you do that, and if you prepare and you do really well, that'll actually end up being like one of the most exhilarating feelings when you have a room that's like really hyping you up. And so spoken word tends to have those types of rooms a lot. Like everyone's like, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
all right, And so I think the very first show I ever performed at was on Broughton Street at World of Beer.
What?
Yeah, they used to do a show every other Thursday, I think. Yeah, it was definitely on a Thursday. I can't remember if it was once a month or twice a month, but it was called Creatively Crafted. And I had actually been going, same deal. I had been going to that show for a while. I got kind of like acclimated with some of the people at the show, made friends. I was already friends with the host. I probably went to that show for like 3 or 4 months
Yeah.
before I ever was like, okay, like I'm finally going to get up. And what was crazy was there was one night I tried to get up and they ran out of room. Like they ran over time, so they couldn't, like there were 2 or 3 people at the end of the list that they could not.
Oh, no.
So I'm sitting there waiting the whole time, like nervous, like, oh, I might be getting up, and like never went. So then the next time I went, signed up, and like had the same feeling. I was like, okay. And then finally I got to go. And because I had like rehearsed it so much, I killed it.
Yeah.
And because the room was full of people that were like, not only was I friends with some of them, but they were already had that kind of energy of being supportive.
Mm-hmm.
It was the perfect like recipe for, okay, this is going to be a really good feeling. And I think after that, it was kind of like, it was kind of just, you still get nervous. Like I was still getting nervous. I'm not saying it was like easy, but I
Yeah.
think if you're going to do it and you have a problem with public speaking, then you kind of have to like set yourself up to have those variables where it'll feel good.
Yeah. You gotta
You
like
know,
build your confidence.
It's 100%, and it's never gonna be like oh, I wasn't nervous. If you struggle with public speaking, I played basketball in college, so like getting in front of people and having to perform
Mm-hmm.
was like something I had already like worked through.
Yeah.
Basketball is a whole other level of like when you have the ball in your hand and the arena's full of people, everybody is looking at you.
So do you think that's more nerve wracking?
Way more
I
nerve
think most people
wracking.
would say speaking in front of people is worse.
To me, holding a basketball on a college team, being white, and the entire
You're like,
everybody's looking at you.
I mean,
That's
that is
way
a lot of
worse.
pressure. Yeah.
Way worse. And like one of the colleges I was recruited to play at was an HBCU.
Mhm.
So now I'm the one white person in a arena. If you can picture this,
Mhm.
and I have the ball in my hand, and that is way more nerve wracking to me than
Yeah.
getting up in front of 30 drunkard nobodies,
Yeah.
you know, and I don't care about you guys. And, you know, compared to like, these are my college peers. They're all watching me. No, it wasn't even close.
Damn.
So maybe that was my experience and why I was like, okay, I can get through this.
Right. You're like,
I
this
still
is-
was nervous, but it was like, I'll do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I love that. I took a public speaking class my freshman year of college.
Really?
Yeah, I went to school for broadcasting, so
Oh, yeah.
you know,
Yeah, you're used
it
to
weeds you out quick. They're like, "Oh, you want to talk on camera? Like, try to talk in front of a room full of 10 people." And people can't do it. I mean, it's crazy. Like,
It's
people get
hard.
so nervous. And I mean, I get it. You know, if it's like a small room and it's like, you know, your second week of college ever, it's like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I have to give a speech. But they started it off exactly what you said, like little confidence builders.
Yeah, for sure.
And it made sense. Like the first ever quote unquote speech that we had to give, it was just an introduction. 5-minute introduction. Get up there and tell us about yourself.
Oh,
And like, it seems stupid, but now I'm like, you know what? That was like such a good thing to stand in front of everybody. And then next week we'll come at it with like, you know, 5 more minutes. And it like built. But I will never forget this. The cringiest thing that I ever saw the entire time I was in college happened in that first speech. This guy got up there and he thought that it was going to be so funny and it was really going to hit. He gets up there and has a PowerPoint. Nobody else had a PowerPoint. That was not a requirement.
oh no.
And it's just his phone number. And he got up there and was like, "Ladies, my name is so-and-so, and this is my phone number." And it was
Oh,
crickets.
no.
Crickets. Everybody was like,
No.
wow. Oh, my God. I will never forget that. Like, my toes right now,
Oh.
I'm, like, cringing them so hard. It was horrible.
I feel bad for that guy.
I do, too. And you know
I mean,
what?
I don't, but oh man.
He recovered, and, you know,
He
he
did
did
well?
well. I mean, yeah, you know,
Okay.
he made friends. He did good, but I imagine that was humbling.
Yeah. That's a different level of shooting your shot.
Yeah. Also, this is like, I mean, it sounds like it's going to be a dark story, but like no one got hurt and it was fine. But also in that same class, we were giving, it was like our final speeches or something like for the like semester. And this girl was up there talking and we were like not allowed to have our phones out. Like that
Yeah.
was the whole thing, like very respectful classroom. This girl gets her phone out and she's like whispering. And everybody's looking at her like, is she serious? Like, we have gone through this all semester. We are not supposed to talk. We are trying to make this person feel good. They're giving a
Right.
speech. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Everybody's getting so worked up. And our teacher eventually is like, "I'm so sorry. I'm going to stop you. So-and-so, can you please stop being so disrespectful?" She pulls out her phone. There's deadass a active shooter alert on our campus. And that's what she's trying to tell
Oh
us.
no.
All of us were like, "We're so sorry. We were shushing you. What the fuck did we do?" Like, it was so crazy. And I like, that is like, I mean, of course, I say nobody got hurt. Like it was a false alarm, but it was like the scariest
Oh,
moment
thank
of my
God.
life. Yeah.
I was gonna say.
No, it was so scary. And like somebody, I think that they had actually like brought a gun to class or something, but like it was like in
okay.
their backpack.
I was gonna
like,
say I thought it was a prank or something.
no. It wasn't a prank, but like it wasn't as serious as we all thought it was. Like
Okay.
we thought we were gonna die. It was so scary. But I like, you know, whenever something traumatic happens and you remember the most like random details.
Yeah.
Like I just remember
remember
this
that girl
girl whispering, and I remember me
like,
thinking like, she's such an asshole for interrupting this speech.
right. Yeah.
now.
She was just trying to save your lives.
Yeah, she's trying to save the class.
She thought she was being noble.
Yeah, and that's just every time I think about public speaking in any form, I think.
Yeah.
of
You
that.
think of the active shooter.
Isn't that weird?
That's got to be a nerve-wracking thing to
It
be
was
an active
scary.
shooter, right?
Yeah.
This is terrible. All right, sorry. Let me get a swig.
You're like, she brought up something extremely serious. That took a turn. No.
Yeah, that's got to be really nerve-wracking.
It was crazy. People
There
were
was
like
a
running over
shooting,
each
I
other.
think, earlier last night.
I know.
Michigan
I saw
State.
it on Twitter. Yeah.
It's crazy. It seems like it's like happening more and more often, and just
Yeah.
yeah.
It was horrifying, and I mean, like the Mississippi State handled it like really well. Like obviously, like SWAT and everybody was like on campus and handled it. But like they said, y'all don't have to come to class for 2 days. Like that
Oh,
was
wow.
really crazy. Everybody was just so scared, you know.
Yeah.
And even though nothing happened, like just thinking that you could be in that situation was just like wild.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, it's yeah. It's kind of one of those where like you know, you want to be like it's like I saw it on Washington Post this morning
Mhm.
and you know, everyone's in the comments talking about gun reform and things like that. And you know, it's like it's hard because it's like you know, when it happens it's like you don't want to talk about those types of things, but because it's like you're I don't know. It's like you're trying to
so
because I get it. I mean, I feel the same way, but I'm like, dang, like right in the middle, we're gonna talk about what we're gonna do about it. Like, we gotta mourn what happened first, you know?
Well, that's what I mean. Like, that's why I say they handled it so well. Like, you know, of course, like afterwards and like the weeks and months afterwards, there was conversation just like on campus of like, how can we handle this better? Because
Yeah.
literally people were running up and down like stair flights, throwing their backpacks so they could run faster. Like, it was
Oh,
so
wow.
scary. Yeah. And so, of course, we had to have a conversation about like, what's the new game plan? But like, we needed a couple days to just like sit and just like
Yeah. Just sit and drink.
breathe. Yeah. It was weird. Anyway, I will stop talking about almost
Yeah,
tragedies.
zippity doo dah. Moving on.
Is your comedy persona the same as your real life personality? Or like, do you feel like you're any different on stage? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty similar.
I think so. I mean, I haven't
I
known
think
you
it's
that
pretty
long,
similar.
but
I mean, I'm not a, you know, I think some comedians get like a rap of being like, you know, like always, you know, some people, you meet a comedian like, oh, you must be always goofy. You can never be serious. It's not the case. I mean, I'm a very thoughtful person, but I think what comedy's done for me is I don't take a lot of things too seriously.
yeah.
And that's huge. That's like, if you could put that in more people, the world would be a lot easier and smoother. Like, we'd be able to deal with things a little bit easier. And it's not to say certain things aren't serious. It's just to say that when you realize that we're all dealing with stuff, everybody has some kind of trauma. Everybody's got something. Everybody's just trying to figure their life out, and you don't take yourself too serious. It like opens up so much for you to like enjoy life a little bit more.
Yeah.
And so I think that's like, as far as like being a comic, and trying to turn it, you know, it's like starting to turn from a hobby to starting to be more of something that I can actually like do. I still have a day job, you know, but it's become a big part of my life. Like, I'm constantly thinking about writing stuff or thinking about what I'm gonna do next. And I think so in turn, some of the people that I get around, some of the people that I'm looking up to, it's like put that in me. Like,
Yeah.
I don't worry as much.
Yeah.
So that's
That's-
huge.
I mean, just like living your life a little lighter.
Yeah.
You'll
I mean, we
probably
can have
live
serious
longer.
conversations, and I think I've learned that sometimes, like, cracking a joke, you know, like I don't have any active shooter jokes, but like, you know, we were talking about it, and it's like, you know, cracking a joke makes it easier to talk about. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not to like undermine the victims or anything. It's just that
Right.
we're just here talking about it. None of them are here, so we can make a joke. Makes it easier.
Well, none of them are here.
Being serious.
Well, look, after I'll send you the tweet, but whenever that happened at Mississippi State, one of the like SWAT officers
Yeah.
was this woman, and she showed up with like this huge fucking gun in her hand.
Oh.
And she had on booties that had a heel. And so people took a picture of her, and they were like, yo! And so, like, that was the
Stuff
joke.
like that is okay to
It's
laugh at.
good,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And then you'll have some people like, don't laugh at that. Yeah, so you just whatever.
It's like-
And I'm like, it's funny.
Yeah.
You know, it's okay to make fun of people,
Mm.
I think. Because like making fun of somebody doesn't always mean that you're like shitting on them.
Right.
I make fun of my friends all the time. And if I'm like, as a matter of fact, if I'm not making fun of you as a friend, then that probably means that I don't like you as much. You know what I mean?
So you like open with that joke that went way over my head. So like you really love me is what I'm
Yeah,
hearing.
yeah.
Thank you.
definitely,
Thank you.
definitely already instant chemistry, neutral.
Who do you look up to in the comedy world?
Oh, good question. I mean, it's a cliche answer, but Dave Chappelle for sure. I think everybody does, for the most part. There's some people that are kind of like, I think, worn out by it. But when you see somebody who's that great at it, you can't. It's like, being alive when Michael Jordan was in the NBA. It's like you got to just appreciate it for what it was.
Right.
For some of the less known, I really enjoy Chris Stefano right now. Mark Norman is doing really well. I also like, this is surprising, I just watched a clip by this guy. There's a guy named Donnell Rawlins who was on the Chappelle Show with Dave Chappelle. and he's just known as the Chappelle Show characters that he played, but he's actually really good at stand up.
Really?
He's very funny.
I feel like I've seen him. Has he gone on Joe Rogan's podcast? Do you know?
Yeah.
Okay, that's like I feel like
for
I've
sure.
listened to him before.
Yeah, he was on Rogan. He did a set on the day that Kobe Bryant died, and
Did
can
he
you
make a joke
imagine
about
like
it?
everybody in the room was like, how do we even laugh at anything?
Right.
And he did the perfect things that was like lighthearted, but also like obviously not making fun of Kobe, but like, making fun of like, different things about the day.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it was the perfect thing. And that's kind of what I mean when I say like some of the things I've learned from comedy is like, it's extremely therapeutic
Mm-hmm.
to have something like that traumatic happen and have a comedian be able to still make you like just let go of it for a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's something I feel like I've done for myself, but also to be able to do that for other people is a really good feeling. So Donnell Rawlings has been huge. It just like I'll find a comedian that I didn't know a lot about, and I'll just dive down a rabbit hole, just like watching all their stuff. Yeah, so for sure. Excuse me, watching him. Louis C.K. I know he went through some scandalous activity, but as a comedian, he's funny.
I mean, you can't. That's the thing about some of these people who have scandals.
Yeah.
It's like you can't deny. Like
It's like, yeah,
the art
Just
is so good.
the music's still good. I still listen to R. Kelly a little bit.
Oh God.
Sorry,
That's okay.
but not it's not like jamming it, just driving down the street. But
you're not like a stan, but like
a couple songs.
a
here and
little
there.
groove. Yeah, it's fine.
I mean, my mom. So this is a true story. My mom used to hold me up in the air
Uh-huh.
when I was a kid. She'd lay on her back, and she'd put me on her feet
Uh-huh.
and hold me in the air with her feet.
Right.
And she would sing, "I believe I can fly."
So like you
And so I have that memory in my head as a very wholesome, very non-predatorial
predatory.
moment,
Mhm.
And so you're asking me to not ever listen to that song anymore? No, get the fuck out of here.
I get it. Was that the moment? That's the
Yeah,
what you want
that's
me to
it.
clip?
Yeah, you gotta zoom
Every
in.
time he does the finger guns,
Zoom in.
it's an edit.
There you
Got
go.
you.
We'll do that in post.
Totally.
I don't know.
We saw. I went to Jacksonville last weekend. No, 3 weekends ago. Am I okay? 3 weekends ago and saw Michael Blaustein. Have you seen him?
Yeah, he's good.
He was so good.
I like him.
Some of the people that like I've only seen on TikTok, I've been like a little nervous. I'm like, oh God,
Yeah, are they going to be
easy-
good?
Yeah, it's easy to be funny in a like 10-second skit or whatever.
Yeah.
He was so good. His crowd work was like amazing. I was like praying that we got roasted. We did.
Right. Well, so what happens is like, this is what I've been learning.
Mhm.
Some of those guys on TikTok, and I'd include myself on this, like with some of my Instagram stuff that has done well, it doesn't always do well.
Yeah.
But if you're in a room, like you went to Jacksonville to see him,
Mm-hmm.
the majority of people in that room probably did the same.
Yep.
So if you're in a room with people that came to see you, they're on your side already. So it's kind of like what I was saying earlier about the spoken word thing. It's like when you're in a room with people that are on your side, they want you to be funny. Some of those things that are hit and miss in other rooms, they work
Yeah.
all the time because the people there want you to be funny. So, sometimes that does happen. You got somebody who's funny on Instagram and then gets in front of a random crowd and people don't know him. And then it's like, oh, this guy's not even funny in real life.
Mhm.
It's probably happened to me before. But, when I'm in a room with people a lot of the people came to see me, then it's easy to be funny.
Yeah. Well, it's like the mindset. The crowd they're there to laugh. They want to laugh.
Yeah, for sure.
I get it.
Sure. Can I get another one? I'm just playing. I'm just joking. I got to go to work.
Dang it. Speaking of work, tell people about your day job. I don't know why I was surprised to learn that you have like a real job. You know what I mean?
It surprised you?
Yeah, you don't
It's like
give
this
me
guy
like
just
Oh, that's what I'm
tells jokes all the time and doesn't take anything serious.
you don't give me no job vibes at all. That's all I'm saying. But like, I just didn't expect you to have like a serious job.
Like a real serious
You know
job.
what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think the nature of my job allows for me to still be myself.
Mhm.
I think if I had to like show up and work in certain environments where they like, where where you have an HR person to answer to or whatever.
Right.
I wouldn't be able to do that.
Right. Oh, okay. Well, tell people I didn't tell them your job. Sorry.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, so I do work for a financial service firm locally in Savannah, Hilton Head, Beaufort, Bluffton, Brunswick, the whole southeast. I can come to you. Yeah, we have an office here in Savannah, and it's a nice job. I think so. I've been licensed for like 3 years,
Yeah.
but more so approaching it as like a business, like trying to build my client list for I want to say like 2. Learned a ton about some of the different financial strategies that people use. I'm not like a stockbroker. I'm not trading stocks or anything, but more so on like the risk-free side. But just to be able to like be self-employed and calling people and setting my own meetings and things like that, it's a lot of responsibility, and so it's hard.
Yeah.
But the beautiful thing is it does allow me to kind of just be myself and not have to, I have a boss, I still have a guy that's like, the owner of the firm. So if I still have to do right by people, obviously, you know what I
Right.
mean? I'm bound by my license to be ethical and do the right thing by my clients. But I can choose who I want to work with.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody's, if I sit down and someone's like somebody I don't want to work with, then I can say, hey, look, this has been great, but
Yep.
I'm good.
I love whenever people say we're not a good fit.
Yeah, we're not a good fit.
I don't like you is what I meant
Yeah.
to say.
Yeah, for sure. Like, if I'm like sitting down with a woman and she's like beating her husband, then I can just, I can leave and be like, look, I don't put up with this domestic violence, okay?
We're not a good fit.
We're not a good fit. Yeah. Just choose who I want to work with. Is my point.
So it sounds like you do
Throw
get to
another
like make. Oh my! Stop it! If you put another chip in your mouth right now, I'd be
I
like,
would never do
somebody.
that. I'll throw up.
Oh my god. I don't know where I was going with that. We can get into relationship stuff if you want.
Sure.
Okay. So whenever we had our meeting, I was like, Eric, like, what do you want to talk about? He's like, I feel like I can talk about relationships. Are you in a relationship?
I am not currently in a committed
Okay.
relationship.
The way you took a breath just like made me wonder, like what you were about to say. You just took a pretty big breath before that. I thought you were gonna.
No, I don't do
No?
I don't do the. It's complicated.
Okay.
Like that's a lot of women do
A
that. I don't
situationship
do that.
is
Yeah.
the trendy way to say that.
Yeah, I don't do that. I'll ask a girl, "Are you single?" And they'll be like,
Never mind.
"No, you're not single. Just say no."
Uh-huh.
It's complicated. He ain't acting right now. So, bitch, you're not single. Just go away. I bought you enough drinks.
Oh my god. I went through whenever me and Cameron first started seeing each other. I didn't even realize I was doing it until my coworkers were like, Lauren, like, do you ever stop and listen to yourself? For like 6 months. Like, I wasn't seeing anybody else. He was clearly my boyfriend. And I was
Y'all
calling
just
him.
didn't talk about it.
No, we never talked about it. And I was
Okay.
calling him Coach because he's an Orange Theory coach. And I was literally be at work like, yeah, I might see Coach later. And they're like, Lauren, he's your boyfriend. Stop calling him Coach. I'm like, sorry. Like, he's
Why did
not
you did that?
really.
Maybe because you didn't want them to know,
No,
or
I think that I was just like,
it was just sort of a.
I've always been like, I don't have a lot of boyfriends. I don't date a lot. Like historically, I never had like a boyfriend in high school. Most of college, I didn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I just, and the thing is, this is a crazy thing to say, and I'm about to sound like a little like woo woo. I feel like,
Okay.
but like I have had like, like loves before. Do you know what I
Okay.
mean? But like I wasn't ever in like a, like I've only had I would say one other like actual boyfriend. But
Okay.
I feel like I have like had like real like deep love with people, but it was never, I don't know. It was almost like I knew like I wasn't gonna like marry them and things like, I don't know. It was almost like I knew there was like change coming. So like I never locked
Yeah,
it
you
down
didn't want to
like
put it
a-
in that. Yeah.
Yeah. But like I would literally, like there was a guy that I never
I
called my
honestly wish I
boyfriend.
would have been that way more.
Yeah.
Because my dumb ass would be like, because I talk on stage a lot like I'm cynical or like,
Yeah.
but I'm really like actually a romantic. So
Really?
I would do the dumb thing and hold on to something that was like clearly not good for me.
Yeah.
Not like I was getting, shit on or like, abused or anything.
Right.
But like, it like when I was in college, I was playing basketball and, I like had a relationship where there was this constant like fear or insecurity of like she thought I was like cheating
Yeah.
and or that I might possibly want somebody else. And and at the time, like me having a heart was like, no, like it's okay. Like I was trying to like hang on to that, but the reality was I probably should have just let that go and just kind of like and just lived my life and just had fun. But and so like because of the fact that you're saying like you kind of saw some of those things coming, like okay, this probably is not the person. I feel like I should have been that way more. Like this
Yeah.
probably
You like
ain't
went
it.
all in, hoping that like maybe you were.
Yeah, I was
wrong.
always thinking like, yeah, okay, this could be it,
Mhm.
and I think it's just because I always knew that the people that I wanted to be like, the successful people that I always looked up to, had a family. They were married. They had like a strong, family base at home. And so I was, always wanted that. And then I would see like certain couples or certain friends of mine that had like relationships all through college and they stayed together. And I'm like, okay, I can do that.
Mhm.
But I was just like trying to do it with the wrong person,
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like I wish I would have been like, yeah, nah, she ain't it. Like what you were saying,
Mhm.
nah, okay, no,
Yeah.
And then yeah, I might have had less relationships, but it would have been better for me. If
Yeah.
that makes sense.
That's what, like, it's hard to explain whenever I tell people that. They're like some people's reaction is like, okay, so you were like just dating around. And I'm like, no, like I would be not in a relationship, but I wasn't seeing anyone else. Like it would be like 6 months where literally like there was never a conversation of exclusivity, but I was
Yeah.
not interested in anyone else. But at the same time, like if someone asked you in the streets, like, are you and Lauren boyfriend, girlfriend? No.
Yeah, no.
But we hang
Yeah.
out 7 days a week and it's going to be short lived and it's going to be really deep.
I think I found recently that's it, but you're not the only person that does that. I think
Yeah.
I think I have found that women do that more, where
Yeah.
like it's like that's kind of like waiting for the man to step up to the plate and say like what it is,
Yeah.
and
Maybe
that's totally
that's it.
rational.
Well, and I don't even know if I was waiting around because honestly, like, especially once I got a little bit older, I think that it was probably a little bit more wishy-washy whenever I was like 18, 19. But like once like I was like a senior in college and even like, whenever I was first getting out of college, like I was very direct. I've always kind of been like that. Like
Yeah,
I would,
what is this?
Yeah, I would tell
Yeah.
these guys like, you're not my boyfriend. I'm moving in 3 months. What's the point? Like you're welcome to stay at my house every day until I leave, but you're not going to be my boyfriend. And
Cole.
I mean,
You see that? She said, "This ain't what it is. It's not in the recipe for you."
and the thing is,
She's
though,
like, "I'm just letting you know this what you think it might be. Nope."
see, and you say it's cold, but like
No,
the
see,
person at the time was like, weirdly, I
but it's
understand that
real.
and respect
It's
it.
real, yeah.
And it ended amicably.
I'm
and
just
it
being
beautifully.
silly, but cold is, you're supposed to do that, and that's what I
Yeah.
mean. Like, I wish I would have been that way more,
Yeah,
because what it is self-preserving,
yeah.
So that's interesting. So you said you guys, how long have you guys been dating?
Me and Cameron have been together for now like 3 years, which
Oh, wow.
is crazy. Yeah.
Oh
and
wow,
I think it's just kind of a different season, like I'm so like career focused, which I always have been, but whenever you're in college, it's like not there yet. You're like
Yeah.
still like learning and playing and having fun,
Yeah.
And so now I'm like just very driven trying to like get me and like my success and my career in order. And so I feel like I'm in a stage where like I want a partner and like I want somebody to be like in my corner whenever I come
Yeah.
home at night. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
for sure.
So I'm not interested in calling him coach anymore right now.
Yeah.
He can be my
It's your
boyfriend.
man. So interesting. So
Yeah.
and I think and I say that I'm not in a relationship. I think that it's crazy. It's like the longest stretch as an adult that I've gone like being single.
Really?
So and that's because like when I got out of high school, broke up my high school. I had a high school girlfriend that was like, it was like High School Musical. Like she was on the cheerleading team. I was on the basketball team. It was like,
Obsessed.
yeah, it was like 2 years thing, and that was rough. So she moved to like the other side of the country. So see ya.
Yeah.
Sorry, but it didn't work out. And then like I said, I had like maybe 2, 3 relationships like while I was in school, and then kind of like overlapping like the couple of years after school.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like 2 years ago, got out of my last relationship, and I've been just single, just hanging out. And it's been purposeful though, because like it's like I could have definitely like took myself off the market,
Yeah.
but I've been like, no, I've been doing more of like your thing. I've been
Mhm.
trying to be like you more.
I'm the perfect example is what the moral of this episode
Yeah.
is. Y'all should just be
Moral
like
of
me.
the story: let them know. Let them know that it ain't what it is.
When you
It's
said it like
not-
that, I was like, damn.
You gotta let them know.
Look, you got
No, but you have to.
I'd rather do that than string somebody along and be like, oh, I really like you.
Yeah.
And then show weird
And just so
signs,
you
like,
know, as a guy, they're gonna still do that. As a man, girls still like. There's been so many situations where I've been like, "Look, this is not going to be anything. I promise you. I'm letting you know. We can still hang out and have a good time. This is not going any further than this."
they don't listen.
And they're like, "No, man, no." And then it's like, they get mad. Oh, this guy's a fuck boy. We talked about it earlier. I haven't been called a douche yet. That's new.
yeah, I
That's
was
new for
shocked to
me.
learn that. I love to throw
This
that
guy's
word
a
around.
douche. I don't. Fuck boy, a tool. You ever heard
Ooh.
somebody been called that?
Do people call you that a lot?
No, but I have heard other men called a tool, and I feel like every guy that someone called him a tool,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I can see that.
Yeah. For me, the one that like when I'm mad, like I'll call somebody a prick, and like that
Oh,
one,
he's a prick. He's a schmuck.
that one is so specific for me. Like that's
Yeah.
a real certain behavior of like you are just an asshole, but it's more than that. Like
Yeah,
that one comes out rarely.
I've learned though as I've gotten older though, that, like y'all like pricks.
No, okay.
If a guy's like he's a good guy, y'all will shit, piss, and step all over that guy. And I'm sorry, I'm a terrible person, but y'all don't give a fuck. Like you're not gonna, you know what I mean? The prick, you're gonna be like, why is he such a prick? Why does he act like this? He's such an asshole.
Okay.
Am I
know
right?
what you're
I think I'm
saying.
right.
For me, it's a it's a delicate balance, and douche is why like I throw that like word around because it's almost endearing. Okay, hear me out. Y'all stay
Douche
with
is
me.
an endearing. I can see that.
It is.
He's
Like
such
I
a
think
douche.
that you can have like a nice, kind heart, but every now and then be a douche. And I'm like, I like that. You know what
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean? But like prick to me, ew, that is behavior that is unforgivable.
Oh, the prick is
I rarely say that about
Okay,
somebody.
okay.
For me, that's
that's your
goodbye.
don't
Yeah.
be a prick.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's just mean. You know what I mean? Like for me, I call somebody a prick whenever they're just intentionally
family's-
being mean.
My family's from up north, so they say prick like, hey, he's
Really
such
casual?
a prick. What a prick. Don't be a prick. You know,
God.
it's kind of a normal thing. So it's not as the prick is like on the lower end of the spectrum for us.
Okay. What's like the worst of the worst insult for you?
That's rough. The worst of the worst. Oh man, I'm gonna have to get back to you on that one.
Oh, I stumped him.
You
For
stumped
me, if
I
we're
have to get
talking
back
about
to you on that one.
if I'm like talking about another female, the C word, obviously.
Yeah.
That one, I think it has come out of my mouth one time, and I was like in like a blackout rage about something, and I was
Oh, I
like,
got you.
"Whoa!" Like
Oh,
I don't throw that around.
a crotch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think we know what
We know.
the word is.
Somebody's mom
Um,
called me that one time.
Really?
At a Harry Styles concert.
At a Harry Styles
Yeah.
concert?
Yeah.
She was probably drunk.
No, she was like there with like a 13-year-old, and she asked if she could get in front of me just because she was 13. And I said, "Fuck no!" And she called me the C word.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
it was crazy.
That's you got me. I can't think of the worst thing. I think yeah. That's rough.
Okay,
Because I haven't been called a lot of that, you
well,
know.
that's good. That means
For
you're
my
probably
earlier years, I was one of those good guys, like the nice guy that was
Good
like,
guy.
"Fuck him," you know.
Are you still a good guy? Are you a good guy with?
I think I'm a good guy. I think I'm a good guy, but I think I give less of a fuck about whether or not, like, if I realize that if a woman is capable of saying, "Oh wow, like he's got a really good heart," and I like that, but I'm gonna be shady,
Mhm.
then that's just not from. She's not for me.
You know what that's
Like I
called?
want someone else who's also a good person, if that makes sense.
I think that might be called maturity.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So I just realized that like all of those other, all these other hoes. Can we say that? All those
Totally.
other chicas. They can have that. They can, because they're gonna continue chasing the fuck boys. And what's funny is like I've been called a fuck boy, but it was maybe just like I said, just because I was like honestly not in a place for a relationship, and I was like, that's not what I want.
yeah.
And but when I am ready, like I am the kind of person that does like I can commit to something.
Yeah.
It just has to be the thing. At this point in my life, I'm like, you gotta be you gotta be really impressive
Mhm.
for me to be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's because there was too many times where I got caught up in other things where I was like, okay, she's ambitious or she's smart or she's pretty, whatever, and because the chemistry was good, I would think that that was it.
Yeah.
And I realized that like there's so many people out here that like you could have good chemistry with that are gonna be like on a whole other level. And I think it's important to just be patient.
Yep.
So that's how I feel. That's my spiel about relationships.
Yeah. I listened to you, just reminded me, do you ever listen to Jay Shetty on anything?
That's where I got that from. 100%.
Really? Oh my God. Okay. Well, I don't remember whose show he was on, but he was recently talking about, I don't even know if it was recent, but I heard something of him talking about like the people that you like have like the best like sex with, like you
Yeah.
like the first time you fuck, it's like perfect. That is never going to be like an actual relationship. And he was just talking about how like keeping that chemistry up like takes practice whenever it's somebody that's like real and good for you. And I
Yeah.
was like thinking about my life. I'm like, that is so true. Like real relationships are not like sexy always. Like you can't rely on the chemistry,
True.
like
True. I think it can exist where like it's like wow.
Yeah.
Because I've had a relationship like that, and I would say that the chemistry was not an issue, or that
Yeah.
part of it was not a thing that wore out.
yeah.
It was just other things mentally that was going on.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like say it was her or me, but there was other issues that had zero to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of ended up being the demise of that situation. But I thoroughly agree with the idea that that in and of itself is not going to be the thing that
Right.
keeps you together. It's the conscious effort
Mm-hmm.
to be like, okay, this is great. We got to do something to keep making it even more great and mix it up. It's just like anything in life, though. Like,
Yeah.
it's like you get motivated at the beginning of January to go to the gym, but what are you doing throughout the year to keep yourself locked into that?
Right.
So it's okay to have feelings. It's okay to be like, I feel like I can do better than this. Like that's gonna happen even
Yeah.
with the best one for you. That's
Yeah.
gonna happen. Like my parents have been together for a really long time. I highly doubt that my dad was never like, I feel like I could probably do better. Or my mom was like, you know what, this guy is fucking. Might need to give this guy the boot. Like,
Right.
what the fuck is wrong with that?
Getting on my nerves.
This guy, I feel like I don't know. I feel like I probably could have done better than this guy.
Uh-huh.
I doubt that they've never had that thought. It's
Right.
okay to have the thought, but it's like, how do you react or respond and have an inner conversation and be like, okay, but realistically, I love this person for who he is,
Right.
and who he is includes like he's gonna do some things that's gonna give me this feeling sometime.
Yeah.
So it's more of like, I think what happens now is like a lot of people get caught up in this like everyone's so caught up in the overly like self-absorbed part
Mhm.
of it, and the narrative in their mind is, how is this person serving me? Like, what is this person doing for me? And when they stop doing that, or when it doesn't feel the same,
Mm-hmm.
then that means there's something wrong with them. That's not realistic at all.
Yeah.
You
It
know,
all comes in waves. Like,
100%. But you're in control of how you react to those feelings. If a person's not doing something, it's on you to like express that to them. Like, hey, you used to make me feel this way, and now you're not really doing that anymore.
Yeah.
And then if that person doesn't do anything to help, then yeah, then maybe you should move on. But
Yeah. And that's what I mean, you know, I don't know shit. I've only been with Cameron for 3 years. Like in the grand scheme of life, that's not a long time. But like just in starting like this company, you know, like aspects of my life have taken a dip while others have been on a high. And that's just it's like a wave. And so whenever something's taking a dip, it's not very sexy to like have a conversation about that, you know? And I don't mean just like sex and chemistry, but even like, you know, me doing chores around the house. Like I hate that I had to get called out for that, you know? Like
Yeah.
normally I'm on top of that shit, but it comes in waves. Sometimes I'm not. And sometimes you got to just be like, hey, like, girlfriend, you haven't done the laundry in like a week. Like,
Yeah.
are you okay?
Jay Shetty's really good at like, and I think that's another huge thing is like, kind of what I was saying about the gym concept, or just about anything that you're doing, that you're trying to sustain.
Mm-hmm.
I've been learning this a lot recently in the past couple of years, from the owner of the financial firm that I work for. He's a really, really big figure in my life, mentor of mine, and this idea that if you're deliberate about your life, when you marry somebody,
Mm-hmm.
the agreement is this, right? And this is something you want to happen. You don't just leave it up to the world or leave it up to chance. You should be deliberate about what are you doing to make sure that thing happens and that you
Yeah.
stay with this person for 50, 60 years or however long you live, right?
Yeah.
And what and this goes for like other things in life too. Like I've learned this a lot with comedy too. It's like being very deliberate about who I'm around. And then with relationships, who am I listening to?
Mm-hmm.
Who am I scrolling? If you're constantly on, Shade Room or whatever, if you're constantly watching stuff that is introducing something that's fear, giving you fear or giving you a toxic kind of approach, as opposed to, if you're listening to Jay Shetty, it's like there is so much information that he and his wife both talk about that is so helpful,
Mm-hmm.
that if you're going through something, it could really change how you respond to your partner based on something you have heard from someone else who may have had a similar experience. And so I think this like hyper independence, this like, oh, you'll figure it out on your own, you should just like love yourself all the time. That's not how things work.
Yeah.
It really takes a village
Mm-hmm.
to, the obvious term is it takes a village to raise a child, but like it takes a village to like live the life that you want to live. And you should have people around you that support that.
Yeah.
It might even mean that you have people that you don't even know, like people on your social media that support what it is you're trying to do. I watched a video. I don't think it was him. It was someone similar in the same kind of space. It was talking about chemistry versus compatibility, and she was saying it's great to have chemistry, but if you're not compatible, you can have chemistry and then but you don't think the same way, you don't approach certain things in life the same way, and ultimately that chemistry will kind of like have its ups and downs, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you're down and you're not compatible, it's like going to be hard to really work through
You
that.
have nothing. Yeah.
There's nothing. You're just
Yeah.
going to probably, break.
Yeah. That's what I don't understand. I think it's so impressive how there are couples who have been together forever who have like opposite values,
Oh, yeah.
whether it's religion or politics or whatever it is, like props to them, because I imagine that's freaking hard.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know.
It
I
happens.
love to have differences with somebody, but I mean, like you said, whenever you're having a rough time, if you can't even like agree on how to tackle a problem, like, bro.
Right, and I think that was the compatibility she was talking about. It's like, yeah, I know some people who are very compatible, but that don't see eye to eye on a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
It just means that you're able to disagree
Yeah.
and still love each other,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah. And weirdly, not to make it all about me, but like weirdly, whenever I think that I was like doing the almost dating kind of thing for a while, like I feel like all of the people that were over the years, like I had really good chemistry with. And maybe that's like kind of the things whenever I say like I knew that they weren't going to be my person. Like I know this person is never going to be as motivated as me career wise. So like we're not going to be a forever match because we're never going to be on the same page.
Yeah.
But the chemistry was good. And maybe, I don't know. Maybe I don't think that's like a great way to live your life. For me, it worked. But, you know, like I wouldn't recommend like ride the
At the
chemistry and
time-
then move on. I wouldn't recommend that. But like
At the time,
it worked. At the time, it
you
worked.
know, it's better than, like I said, it's better than chasing love with
Yeah.
people you have no business chasing it with.
Yeah. One of my questions on here was, have you had your heart broken?
No.
Really? Is that
See
a
my
lie?
face? You see this stone? Never. Of course, I've had my heart broken. Are you kidding me? Of course, I have.
Did someone break your heart or did you break your own? Because I think there's two kinds.
You broke my heart when I ate that chip that I was supposed to eat. No, it's gone both ways. I've had one happen each way.
Yeah.
I've had it where like I had to end something, and that hurt to hurt that person, and I've had it happen the other way around too.
Which one was worse?
The second one, definitely.
Really?
Yeah, for sure.
Man, I mean, knock on wood, but I'm very lucky I haven't had the done to me.
Really? You just
Yeah.
out here just
Have I not made it clear? Lauren's a heartbreaker. That's what the episode title is going to be.
the heartbreak kid over here.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, I
I
don't
believe
know.
you. I believe you.
I say that because whenever I had to end a relationship that was, I mean, it was perfect, but it wasn't. You know what I mean? Like it needed to end for exactly what we just talked about. Like the values were never going to be fully there. And that hurts so bad. And like it hurt my family and I did that. And it sucked. It's like a weird territory whenever you're making this decision and it's like hurting you and breaking your own heart, but like you've got to,
Yeah.
It sucks.
I honestly wish it would have happened to me sooner in the magnitude that it did.
Really?
Because it happened to me at a period where I was like on an incline and I was like doing well and I was starting to save money and do well financially,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of just really it sidelined me for a little while.
Yeah.
Just not that I wasn't doing anything, but I was not really into things for a while.
Yeah.
And like I feel like there's something that I was missing when I was younger. Not to like downplay my upbringing or say that I didn't have a good enough, a male figure in my life, but
Mhm.
I feel like it was something like I wish that some of the things that I'm starting to learn now from mentors that I have and people that are around me, and also just from my own like personal self-talk, I wish I would have had some of this earlier.
Mhm.
Because I think that like for men, a lot of times I think when you go through something like that, it changes a lot for you. Like not just your relationships, but just like overall life is different. When you go through something like that, it almost makes you like, of course it makes you stronger, but I think it makes you like care less about things that you thought were important when you go through something like that. And it's, in a weird way, it makes your interactions with women like more, how do I say, carefree.
Yeah.
Because you're like, okay, I already fucking, you know what I mean? Like, I already had this shit happen to me. You can't do anything to me that is worse than that. So, what's it gonna be? What are you gonna do? What do you have to impress me? Like, it really screws you up, but in a way that's helpful almost.
Okay, I love that you just said this because I don't even know if guys are like aware of this joke, but like there's like a joke like among like young women who are dating, and it's like every guy I date cannot commit to me or cannot do this or is a fuckboy or whatever, all because this one girl shattered his heart in college or shattered his heart in high school. And like it's a running joke that like these guys are out here not over something that happened 6 years ago, but it's like the heartbreak. Is that what happens to y'all? Like y'all just get like jaded and you're like, nope.
Well, no. So I think it depends on when it happens.
Yeah.
I think the younger, the more likely that is to happen, where the guy's just like has commitment issues because there's something that happened to him when he was really young.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you think you just got to get over that with time? Like,
but yeah, and I also think that like some of those guys can,
mhm.
they just they didn't deal with it the right way.
Yeah.
And I also think that I also think that like some of those guys were gonna probably they used that thing as an excuse, but they were probably gonna have commitment issues anyway.
Yeah.
So some guys just can't commit, period, because whatever happened in their early childhood or whatever they were seeing when they were young.
Right.
And
It's like
the
deeper than
this
the
girl
heartbreak.
that I really liked, fucked me over. That's sort of like a cop out.
Gotcha.
That's some people. I'm not saying that's all.
No, I mean
But
that makes more sense.
Some
Like,
guys, some guys were 14 or 15 and were just like madly in love with a girl, and she shit on him, and then it just stuck with him because that's kind of that part of your adolescence where things stick with you.
Mhm.
You're very vulnerable, and when from like 12 to 17,
Yeah.
or even early 20s for some guys. Like some guys go to college and it happens, and then that shit sticks with them. So sometimes it's valid, just in the same way that women do. Like some women do the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think it's. I've been on this wave a lot lately, where I'm like, it doesn't matter what your trauma is, because we all have it.
Everybody's
We
got
all
something.
have some shit that's like we've dealt with. And if you are gonna continue to like just repeat the same patterns, then you don't really deserve that. I know it sounds harsh, like you don't of judging what someone else's deserves. This is different from saying what you're worth. Like I think everyone has the same worth,
Mhm.
But if we're in a relationship and I don't do shit for you,
Mhm.
then I don't deserve you to treat me like I'm this fucking badass dude that like you
Right.
can just like do all my clothes and like, but I'm not doing shit for you.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's like the
not
same concept. Like
balanced.
you don't deserve a committed relationship if you can't commit.
Mhm.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so it's the same when you do get with someone. If you're like constantly like if a woman's like constantly being sweet to me and like doing stuff for me and being hella supportive, then she deserves that same treatment back. So.
Mhm.
It's different from saying. I think people get caught up in the concept of like, oh, I know my worth. I know what I'm worth. I know what I deserve. Well, it's two very different things.
Mhm.
We're all worthy of being treated right, but if you're out here just being a bitch, you don't deserve to be treated like a princess.
Yep. That's true. There it is again. Oh.
Sure.
Calvin, since
Zoom
you've been
in,
gone,
zoom out.
he has done this every time it's a moment for me to clip
That
a
was
TikTok
I just
clip.
spit something. That's what that was.
That was gorgeous. No, I love what you said about everybody's got their shit. Like, I just think I've always thought that, like, as human beings, we've got a responsibility to attempt to be a good person. Like,
Yeah.
try your best to be a decent person and
For sure.
deal with our shit. Like, I understand it's harder or easier said than done, and it takes time depending on what your shit is. It might take 5 years, it might take 5 minutes to deal with it, but like you got to make an effort, and I just think that you got to be honest with people about what you're going through,
Yeah.
I'm very honest on this podcast. Friendship is something that has just been very weird for me in the last like couple of years or whatever, and I talk about it all the time. I tell people, I'm like, look, it's no secret I'm in a weird place with friends, so if you're coming at me, please text me twice, because if I don't text you back, I'm just in a weird place. And I don't expect people to be like, Lauren is like the best friend ever all the time right now. And I'm not lying about it. I'm like actively out here trying to explain to people like, look, I'm working it out. I'm working on this. And I just think that if I was like out here pretending like I wasn't going through any of that, it would be worse. Does that make sense?
100%.
You know what I mean?
Here's the thing about trauma. It's like I think a lot of us, we compare traumas,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and you're totally wrong,
Yeah.
because so here's the thing. Like, so for some people, and this is like way in the deep end. Some people, like, if you didn't grow up with a father in your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a trauma. That's something that where it may not always be a trauma, but something that definitely affects your life, right?
Totally.
The flip side to that I think a lot of people don't think about is, what if you had a father in your life that like shit on you multiple times?
Mm-hmm.
So now this is a person who you're most vulnerable with, or who whose approval you seek the most, especially as a male,
Mm-hmm.
that has said or done things that made you feel like you weren't enough multiple times, that can be just as traumatic as not having a fucking father.
And
And
the
I
thing
hate to
is-
say that because it's like for some people it's like you're fucking privileged you have a dad.
Okay,
But
well,
it's
that's what I was
like,
gonna say.
and
But
that it is a privilege to have a father. It is 100% is to have a father. It is a privilege, but that doesn't mean that if you don't have a father, then you're just automatically worse off than someone who does.
exactly. And for somebody to come at you and say, "At least you have a dad,"
Yeah, at least you got
Okay.
somebody.
shut
Well, the
up.
dude might not have been actually present. He might have said or done things that traumatize you. Like you don't know what that's like.
Yeah.
And yeah, it may help you to see that figure in your life and to know what that looks like. And yeah, there's going to be nuance to that.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't mean that it's like everything is black and white and that if you have a dad, you're fucking privileged.
Right.
You know, you deserve you have all of these leg ups that someone who doesn't have a dad does. So this comparative trauma thing that I think people are doing is unresourceful. Obviously, when it comes to like, you know, oppression and like some of the history that we you know,
Totally.
we talk about certain conversations, there are obviously certain systemic things that people deal with that some of us will never understand, and that's
Totally.
extremely valid. And I think when it comes to relationships, well, when we're on an even playing field, I think people do hold on to that too much, where they're like, I have this trauma, I have this thing, and
Mhm.
you'll never be able to understand it. Well, I have some shit you won't be able to understand either.
Yeah.
So why don't we just come together and try to understand each other better, as opposed to being like, yeah, you don't get it,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
That's something, and I mean, this is not like putting me and Cameron's relationship like on blast at all, but he and I have like very different upbringings, like with our families and just like with our life, you know. I mean, he was like military. That's like a big part of his life that I will never understand, and that's been something that has been interesting and weird because this whole show is about like being in your 20s and like how it's just a weird time. Like I know that I am like not fully adult mature yet. I'm like in the process. And so having to navigate like my first relationship where we really have totally different traumas and different backgrounds and trying to understand that while also like maturing myself is so weird. And it
Yeah.
has been it sounds weird, I feel like, but it has been like very rewarding like to deeply get to know somebody who does have such different things than me.
Yeah,
Because
it's
I feel like it's made me
extremely
grow.
rewarding.
You know what I mean?
No,
Yeah.
I feel the same way. You know, my most recent relationship was that way. Very different background, different cultural background. Like it was
Yeah.
there's so much of things being different. And what's interesting, you know, we talked about you know, things that cause people to grow apart sometimes,
Mhm.
right? It was interesting to me how, like, for me, my style was like the more things that I discovered that were different, it kind of made me appreciate her even more.
Mhm.
It made me kind of love her even more because I was able to see something that other people don't get to see.
Yeah.
And this is different from me. For her, it was almost like this is different. I'm not used to that. This is because it kind of brought out some of the you know, discomfort that she had with like facing herself and
Yeah.
you know, it is what it is. Like I'm not, you know, again, like you said, I'm
Yeah.
not trying to put it out on blast. Like
Right.
I have no, you know, ill feelings about it. It was just that was to me the biggest thing was like if you look at differences as a reason for us to be like, okay, we're not compatible, or this is going to be tough for me to see past because we're different in this way, then that is probably just not going to work out.
Right.
But if you're looking at it, like you said, in a way that's like, oh wait, we're different in this way, but I think that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Then that's extremely healthy. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna be different, and I think it can actually empower you to have somebody around you that's like has a different side of things. You know, because it
Totally.
helps you see that.
Yeah. And I mean, you can't. We would all date ourselves, you know, or date somebody
Right, like
exactly
if you want
like
somebody
us.
that's just like you, then what
So
kind of
lame.
narcissistic shit is that? That
Right.
you want somebody that does things exactly the way you do things, and you
Right.
don't have to change a thing about yourself.
Yeah.
You're gonna be stuck in the same pattern forever if you're like that.
Exactly.
You know, if you're not with somebody that's challenging you to look at things a little differently, then you're just gonna be neutral.
Ooh, that was gorgeous. Another little finger.
Zoom in, zoom out.
No, and what is so cool about being with someone who has differences with you is whenever, if you're lucky, then, you know, your trauma or whatever these differences are, they all boil down to like the same like value. You know, like they come from different places, but like you can agree
100%.
like at the end of this, when it's all boiled down, we agree on this one thing.
Yeah.
That is so, it's
That's a good feeling.
It's really good.
Very good feeling.
So the other night, whenever I saw you, you joked a lot about being single. What do you think is the like best and worst thing about being single?
Ooh, the best thing about being single. The best thing about being single is that I don't have to I can like, oh, we're gonna have to cut this because you might have stumped me with this one.
Oh,
All right, I'm gonna go to the worst
I
one.
can
I'm gonna go to
answer.
the
I was
wor-
gonna say, I'll
Go
say
ahead,
the
go
best
ahead,
thing.
go ahead. You go ahead.
The best thing
Go ahead.
about being single is that I don't have to answer to literally anyone. Like,
See, I just hate that answer. I was about to say the same thing, but I hate that
it's
answer.
the
so I
truth
wanna-
though. Like, and I don't even mean that in like a shady, like hoe around kind of way. I mean it so like, if I go out to a girls' night like with my friends, and then at the end of it, they're like, actually, I know it's Wednesday, but do y'all want to go out until 4 a.m? I don't have to call anyone and say I won't be home till 4 a.m. Like,
Yeah.
little things like that you don't think of, or like, I don't know, if I don't want to cook tonight, I haven't promised anyone that I haven't cooked tonight. You know what I mean?
True. Yeah, I think for me, the best part about being single is I can go to any other state or any other part of the country and not worry about when am I gonna be back.
Is that something that you
I could just go anywhere.
you
and
is
just
that
be
something you
gone.
do when you're single? You just like buy a one-way
I
ticket?
could just go. I'm gonna go to New Orleans. I don't know what's gonna happen while I'm there. I might be back next week. I'll be back in a week or so.
I might
but
be
I'm not
back.
telling anybody that. I'm telling myself that because I don't.
Uh-huh.
Again, you don't have to answer to anybody.
Well,
But-
that's, I mean, it's basically the same answer. Like, you know,
yeah,
you can take
but I
a
just
trip and
hate
never
that.
come back.
I don't know why I hate that answer so much.
Because it sounds douchey and selfish.
It is, and it's like because I hate that. Like some people get those relationships where they feel like they have to answer to the person they're with, and you should not have to. But
And that's the thing, like, you just like nailed it. Like, I have freedom in my relationship. If I
Yeah.
want to go out till 4 a.m., I am totally allowed to. There will be no qualm there. There won't even be a fight about it.
yeah,
But it's just like the freedom of not even having to take that 1 millisecond
even
and make
have
a
to think
phone
about
call.
it, yeah.
I can just say yes to anything.
just go whatever.
yeah. And that's stupid, but that's real.
I think, yeah, I think that would be it. I think the best part about the other best part, the bester part, is that like I can like hang out with more, like I can pick and choose who I want to hang out with. And we can have a good time. I'm not saying like I'm having sex with all these people, but I'm saying like I can actually vibe with different, and I don't have to like answer to like, hey, why were you with her? I'm like, I don't owe you an explanation.
Right. It's the freedom. You don't have to
You
answer to
know.
anyone about anything because it's literally just
We
you
just
watching out
vibing.
for
We
yourself.
having a good time. Yeah.
Yeah.
The worst part, I would say the worst part is like having to wear condoms all the time, honestly, because those things fucking suck.
Do they really? Like, are y'all being dramatic or do they really suck?
Are you kidding me?
I've never felt
I need
that.
just imagine cutting in half the amount of pleasure that you feel during sex, and then throwing away both halves. That's what it feels like.
That is so dramatic. Is it really
It
that
feels
bad?
like literally. I felt like it was like a couple weeks ago. I felt like I had like a steel toe boot on my penis.
Can I tell you? Okay.
Like I should be like dropping 2x4s and like accidentally kicking doors with this shit, not putting this. You know what I mean?
I think that if I could be a dude for 24 hours, I would want to try both. You know, like just so that I could
You
get
would
some
want to
answers.
try both.
Yeah, I would want to try with a condom and then I would want to try without, so I could come back in 24 hours.
You
and be
don't
like,
want to try because once you try without it, it's gonna be like, oh my god.
So I should. Well, that's what I'm saying. So if I had just 24 hours with a
Once you
peen-
try without it, when you put one on, you're not gonna even be turned on.
No, that's
It's
what I'm
like,
saying. I'd go in the opposite order. If I had a peen for 24 hours, I would do condom first, and then I would do
What? If you had a what?
a peen.
What's your boyfriend's name again? I forgot.
I don't call his a peen.
No.
Okay.
Say what's his name?
Cameron.
Cameron. I would need you to get a different word for whatever she uses.
That's what's so weird.
A
I have
peen?
never referred to his as a
It's a
peen. I would
peen or a
never.
poon.
It was the poon.
A poon is the other one.
Oh, is that where I got
A
that
poon,
from?
poonene. Yeah. You know that? You never heard somebody say that?
I think I have,
A
and now I'm like,
poonene? Yeah. You use
Oh
a
my
peen. I've never heard it. Anyway, you're just not finishing the word penis, basically, is what you're doing.
I like
I
it
see
better.
I see what you're doing.
See, yeah.
So I mean, the important thing is just getting, like, I don't know, it's just, yeah, that's the worst part to me, honestly. That's by far the worst part. It sucks, man. It's not fun.
That's an
And
honest
it's like, it's
answer.
awkward. It's like, oh, wait a minute, I gotta go grab him with, you know. And then she's like, don't worry, I got one. I'm like, no, I'm not using that shit. Get out of here.
I can say as a woman,
women
I have
don't get their
never-
condoms from where we get our condoms from.
Where do you get yours from? Like the
Like
grocery
the
store?
fucking CVS or something, the real store where they have them.
Where do girls get theirs from?
It's like Goodwill or AutoZone or like Home Depot or something. It's clearly not. Yeah, it's an industrial fucking. They don't. Yeah,
I have never bought.
they're in a
condoms
brown
ever.
paper bag every time I've
Stop.
seen one from a female.
No,
It's
they're
a free condom giveaway is where they got them. They didn't buy that shit, is what I'm saying.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, so honestly, like, that might be the worst. I think another bad part is like when you're drunk and with a group of dudes and you're out and like it's late and there's no more women out downtown and you're just like, damn it, man, you know, and your friends are like, fuck, man. So he was like, why did y'all all travel? Like, why is there 5 of you? Would y'all all think you're just gonna find five uniform women that are just gonna? That's a. There you go.
Thank you for that. Do guys like whenever y'all are having like a bro night and all the ladies are gone after you hit the moment of like rats, we're not getting laid tonight? Like
Rats.
rats. Do y'all like sit down and like talk your feelings like girls do at the end of the
No.
night? Really?
No.
I don't believe you. Girls do that. Like at the end of the night, we're gonna be in a booth and we're gonna be getting
No.
deep, and then we'll go home.
No, it's. Hey man, I thought you said it was gonna be hoes out here tonight, man. That's it. That's it.
And then you all go your separate ways.
Yeah, man, I'll see you tomorrow. By the way, that last thing with the 5 uniform, that's actually a Louis C.K. Remember I told you I like Louis C.K.? That's an old Louis C.K. bit.
That's funny.
Everything else was me. But
Okay.
the 5, are you going to each find 5 uniform? I didn't want to steal his bit.
I'll put a little credit, like
Yeah,
if I could, that I'll
this is
add
Louis
some
C.K..
credit to him.
He doesn't want to steal his bit.
Cool.
No, it's true though. Like I see, and I don't do that as much anymore, but I do see groups of guys going out and they're like all wearing the same type of shit. And they're like, what the fuck what are y'all doing? Like, are y'all all trying to each you're going to jump into one giant vagina tonight or something?
They're all in the
That's
same
a Louis
outfit.
C.K. I have to
Oh,
giving you credit.
that's hilarious.
That's a funny, yeah, to me, that's one of my favorite bits
Yeah.
ever.
The worst thing about being single, I think, is that it always seems like there's like a moment, like once a month, whenever you're like having a rough day, you
Once a
know,
month?
once a month, there's a moment, and you're like, I had a horrible day at work, and I just want like my head on somebody. You know what I mean? Like my head on
Yeah,
someone's
it's
chest.
your period. Yeah, once a month, right? Yeah.
Maybe that's
Men
it.
don't deal with that. We don't have periods.
Like
I don't
whenever
know
I
if
was
you-
single, I would just be like, God, I don't even want to like have
No,
sex.
I know what you mean.
I just want a little bit
You
of
just
cushion
want a hug.
right now. Yes.
Yeah.
And you know, I've got a cat now, so like I can get that.
Oh,
from
yeah, the
him.
cat now. Okay.
But like I didn't have the cat whenever I was single, so I would just be
Got
like,
you.
and you like cannot text, you know,
Yeah.
the person that you just hook up with for that kind of stuff. That is so humiliating. You can't.
Yeah, you can't.
No.
You can't have sex with your cat either. So,
No.
so it gets a little rough either way.
True.
Sorry. That's
That was gorgeous.
neutral. That was an Eric Bailey bit. That wasn't a Louis
Okay.
C.K.
Okay, write that
Just so
down.
you know, I can't credit that one. Follow me on Instagram.
That That just took me by surprise. Like I love my cat so much.
You love your cat a lot. You've never thought to do that until now.
I've never thought about that. This is, oh my God, this is like too much information that you all need to know about me.
Uh-oh.
But he's so big. Like he's like 20 pounds, okay?
Ooh, shit.
No, literally he's 20 pounds actually.
Your cat is overweight.
Yeah, I know. And he's gained 3 pounds since I adopted him. And he's on like the diet food. I don't know what to do.
What? What kind of diet is your cat on?
He only gets 1 cup a day of the healthy weight.
Oh.
Healthy weight.
Your
My
cat's
ass.
on like a keto diet. Your cat can't win. Your cat's gonna get depressed and like start freaking smoking weed before it's all said and done.
Look, what I'm getting at though is that he's lazy, obviously. And so, like, you know, if something frisky is happening and he's on the bed, he's a
If
little
something
freak.
frisky is happening.
Not with me and the cat, with me and my boyfriend.
Oh yeah, okay.
But he is
Sorry.
so lazy, he doesn't move. He's a little freak.
He just sits there and just watches.
Yes, and sometimes I'll see him and I'm like, oh my God, stop all
Yeah,
this. Like, he's
he's-
looking me in the eye.
Yeah, he's staring you down. Yeah,
Ew.
it's a boy cat. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
locked in.
He's being a little pervert.
Yeah, he's having a moment.
Gross. And cats, I mean, I'm not saying dogs are stupid, but like cats are really smart. Like he knows what he's
Yeah,
looking at.
they know. He
Ew.
knows what's going on.
Oh, God.
That's why he's got a front row seat to it because he knows. Like
Ugh.
I don't know, but I feel like I should watch this.
His name is Kim.
His
His name is Mr. Kim. Isn't that cute?
Mr. Kim.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr.
Okay.
Kim.
So this show, I'm gonna wrap it up here because we've been
Okay.
going for like ever. This show is about being in your 20s, which you are obviously. What do you think is like the biggest lesson that you have learned / are still learning in your 20s? That's like a big question. I'm sorry.
Two. I have two.
Okay.
So one is that you do not have to always be the first to speak. So like when most of the time, if I'm in social settings, not like on stage, obviously, if I'm just with people, I'll listen to what everyone else has to say about something before I offer what I feel. And sometimes I might not even offer what I feel.
Mm-hmm.
I might just, okay, I make note of what you guys feel about this.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes a lot of times when we're younger, we always feel like what we have to say matters so much. And that we're going to, I should just offer some profound opinion in this scenario right now. And sometimes it's better to just let things be. Maybe you can let your actions speak for what you felt in that situation. This can also include like in just into one relation, one-on-one encounter. You don't always have to say what you're feeling. Like you can sometimes just okay, I got you. I hear what you're saying, and then show that you heard or listened to what the person was saying.
Yeah.
That's huge. Because I'm very words of affirmation is mine.
That's my love
thing.
language.
Yeah. So sometimes I need to hear things, but then I didn't realize that not everyone else is like that.
Mm-hmm.
So in my brain, I'm thinking, oh, he needs to, or she needs to hear this. She needs to hear me say this. And sometimes that's not it at all. You just need to take what's being said and just act on it.
Yeah. As a full-time podcaster, that is difficult for me to do.
Really? You're good at it. I feel like you're pretty
I'm just
good
kidding.
at it.
I am. And it's exactly what you said. Like whenever, I mean, this is not a stage, but this is work for me. So whenever I'm recording a show, it's literally my job to give my opinion on everything.
Yeah.
But whenever we start recording, I think I'm
I feel like you're pretty
listener.
good listener.
Thanks.
The second thing is definitely understanding the being deliberate. What I was saying earlier, like if you want to do something, if you want your life to look a certain way, I think a lot of younger folks just kind of do the bare minimum, the things that they feel like they're supposed to be doing, and then they just leave it at kind of the chance of their environment to unfold the way they think it should unfold. And then when it doesn't, they're like, oh, rats, it didn't work, or my life is in shambles or whatever. And my life's definitely been in shambles before, but it was because of stuff I was or wasn't doing.
Yeah.
So just taking ownership and responsibility of that, and then realizing, okay, because I do have responsibility of how I, want my life to unfold, I'm gonna decide to be deliberate and it's like playing chess, as opposed to checkers. It's like I'm really trying to formulate something out of this life. It might not be before I'm 30, but at some point this is gonna happen. What I want to happen is gonna happen.
Yeah.
And along the way, just enjoying the moments. I would say if that's like a third thing along the way, just enjoying the memories and never. This is actually probably bigger than the first two. It just took me a while to think of it. So maybe you can move this to the front. Realizing that tomorrow isn't promised, so really cherishing every moment and every day. Like it could literally, you could wake up and not, a friend of yours isn't here anymore, or you're not here anymore. So really never taking any hello or goodbye for granted.
Yeah.
And cherishing those moments with every person that you have.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's
Happy
a
Valentine's
really
Day.
good one. Oh,
I'll let your boy.
I'll let you.
Louis C.K. I'm just gonna keep saying that. He's not all bad. He definitely did some very strange things to women, but
I want to touch on the point too. that-
you're just like moving on from it.
Anyways.
We're not gonna talk about the guy who like did some weird things. No, I just like his. He just had a couple of good jokes that I honestly have like really changed how I view life.
I love that.
Yeah, go ahead.
mean, the whole thing.
Yeah,
The artist and the art.
Exactly.
They're two different things. Go ahead. The second point that you made, there's a podcast that I love, Girls Gotta Eat. I talk about it all the time on here, but I cannot remember what like the phrases that they like called it, but they were talking about it in the dating sense of like not just leaving stuff up to chance. Like if you want something, put yourself in a situation where something could happen. It might not
For sure.
always happen.
Yeah.
And they were saying like, you're definitely not going to meet a new partner sitting on your couch every night. If you go to the farmer's market, if you go to the gym, if you go to wherever, there's a chance you will. It might not happen, but
Yeah,
you're at
you-
least giving
you
yourself an
gotta
opportunity.
create your own luck, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, create your own luck. And my Uber driver told me that last night.
Really?
Yeah, you got to create your own luck. I was like, just see how that worked out for you, buddy. I was like, yeah, it's fucked up. I'm sorry, that's messed up. But no,
What a wise Uber driver. What?
I don't know. He was talking my head off, and all I remember is at one point he was saying something about, I stopped listening, and then he said something about hard work and determination. And I was like, yeah, sometimes people get lucky because they worked hard and put themselves in a position to do that. And he was like, yeah, you got to create your own luck. And I was like, yeah, cool.
Like,
And I
damn.
went back to texting whoever I was texting,
Oh my God.
and he just kept talking to me.
I had an Uber driver, like, I'm not being dramatic, before I lived here. So, like, 5 years ago. And whenever I got out of the car, she was like, let me get your phone number. If, like you can send me a text and, like, I can, like, come and get you. Like, I do, like, taxi rides or whatever. Like, she had this whole thing
Like
where,
private rides.
yeah. And so I was like, that's actually really nice of you. I gave her my phone number. Still to this day, I get calls from her wanting to sell me Mary Kay.
Oh, she was trying to sell you on
Sneaky.
something sneaky.
Yes. I'm like, bitch, you got me.
That's rough.
Crazy. My last question, another deep question for you.
Is it Valentine's Day question?
No, do you want one? I can come up
Oh,
with a
I
quick
thought I
Valentine's Day.
just was assuming you can. It's up to you. What's the deep one?
The deep one. So you put yourself out there whenever you do comedy, like
Yeah.
obviously. What advice do you have for people who are in their 20s who want to put themselves out there, whether it's creatively or whether it's just doing something that scares them?
Don't be a bitch. Sorry. No, for real. I mean, so it's like if you're gonna do it, like if you want to do it, if you want to try it, try it, and it might not be your thing. But if you, it's like the pain that comes with regret is always gonna be harder than dealing with like, oh, I got up on stage and was embarrassed one night because I bombed, or nobody liked my piece or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, oh, so what? What happens after I get up on stage and I tell a joke and no one laughs at it? Nothing happens. I go home. Nothing happens at all. Or I might try another joke and it works. Nothing happens.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's like if you have an idea to do something, you have something you're itching at, get around people who are doing it. Don't rely on your own ideas. Everyone's pretty much done what you're trying to do before, or not everyone, but there's somebody out there who has done what it is you're thinking of, even if you're past your 20s. I think it was like Samuel L. Jackson didn't start acting until he was like 40.
What?
You know what I mean? Yeah. Samuel L. Jackson has been in highest gross films than like any other actor, and he did not start acting until he was 40. Like, not like
crazy.
didn't get his big break. I mean, like, he didn't start acting until he was in his 40s.
I love to hear stories like that.
So, it's never too late, but it's also like if you're young, try everything. Like, try the shit that you want to try. Even if it makes you a little scared, because it's like you're just being a bitch. Honestly.
I love that. I think that, not to bring up Joe Rogan twice in one episode, but he is always saying, like, tame your inner bitch. And that is something, like, especially at the gym or something like that, or if I'm just, like, feeling lazy, that, for whatever reason, like, lives in my brain. I'm like, that inner bitch, Lauren, she's, like, ruthless. She will come out and try to tear you down. And I'm like, no, ma'am.
No, I love Joe Rogan. He's definitely a good guy.
I love his podcast. I mean, it's
Yeah.
3 hours, like a road trip. It's just great.
Perfect, yeah. And he has a lot of really insightful people on there.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think he's wonderful. Okay. Anything else you wanna add?
Happy Valentine's Day. Drive sober. You like that?
I don't know why.
Don't get caught up out there.
Okay. You heard it here first, y'all. Where can people?
This is
Why
important.
was
It's a
that so
Georgia
funny
law. I
to
don't
me?
know why it's it's important. You should
it's
someone
good
dies of a
advice.
DUI every 3 seconds.
Oh my God! Stop bringing the vibe down. Where I'm trying to wrap it up on a high note.
I'm just playing. I made that statistic up off the cuff. Every 3 seconds is a bit much. That'd be a lot.
That
of
would be like a
deaths.
lot.
That'd be a lot.
Where can people find you?
Instagram is a big one. One Eric Bailey on Instagram. Yeah, I think you have my Instagram.
Yep.
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, OnlyFans.
Are you on OnlyFans?
No, not only. You gave me a serious look. Like,
I
really?
was like, wait,
No.
I wish I had known that up top. That would have been the whole episode.
Yeah, follow my OnlyFans. No. YouTube, I've just started getting a little bit more persistent with YouTube.
Okay,
But Instagram's probably the biggest one.
cool. And people locally can come see you Tuesdays.
Tuesdays, every other Tuesday at Eclipse, and then every alternate Tuesday at Treehouse,
Cool.
starting on the 28th. You can also catch me at downtown Delilah's, at the Matahari, March 9th through the 11th.
Okay.
That's gonna be fun.
Fabulous.
Heck yeah!
Well, thank you for coming on. This was really fun.
This was a lot of fun.
We got
Lauren, I
deep and we
appreciate
got
it.
silly. I
We
love
did.
it.
We got a lot of good convo here.
Oh, well, good. Okay. Well, with that, I will take us out. You guys know where to find the show. Every single Monday, episodes drop bright and early. We are as a web show on YouTube and Spotify, and you can do audio only. Literally anywhere else you can find a podcast: Apple, Google, Amazon, everywhere. Check me out on Instagram at Lauren_Wolverton and at Chicks and Dip Pod. And please share the show. If you like this episode, share it. Put it on your Instagram story. I tell y'all every week, but seriously, sharing this is how we grow. So if you like what you see, you like what you hear, share it, please. And with that, that's a wrap this week. Bye, you guys. Bye.
Bye. My name's Eric Bailey. From the scene. How give me like a new, how do y'all rap in news? It's a rap. It's like, my name's
What?
Eric Bailey, WSAV,
Oh.
WTOC News.
No, it goes like this. Lauren Wolverton, News 3, on your side.
That's it. Eric Bailey, OnlyFans, only $4.99. Follow my Patreon.